Respected friends and elders, all of our hearts and minds in these moments are focused on our brothers and sisters, young and old, who have been affected by the earthquake in Turkey and Syria and the surrounding regions. And the reality of the matter is that while we enjoy the blessings that Allah has given us, warm houses, safe shelter, bedding, hot and cold, clean running water, food, medicine, family, friends, secure incomes, all of the different ni'mats which Allah has blessed us with, and no sense of impeding danger. Look at the situation of these brothers and sisters, how their world turned upside down within moments. And subhanallah, then when you learn that the Syrian regime bombs the people afflicted in that region after the earthquake, you begin to wonder, what kind of human beings are these? No truce even for these moments. So what is our responsibility? What are our answerabilities? The reality is that it's a statement of the obvious. Of course we should be thinking about them. Of course we should be making dua for them. And these du'as should not be just fleeting du'as in a few moments with distractions, phones going off. They should be focused du'as. We should take quality time out just to do du'a. And we should be sending our assistance in the form of charity. And we should be generous in doing this. Not just small amounts, but large amounts. We should dig into our savings, into our income, our weekly, monthly salaries, to make a difference. And the reality is that even if we can impact one single person, one single child's life, some little boy or girl who have lost their mum and dad, some adult, subhanallah, that's enough of an incentive. You don't have to, when you change the life of one person, you've changed the world for the better. وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا كَفَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. You hear this oft-quoted verse of the Quran. Whoever saves the life of one person, it's as though he saved the life of all of humanity. That's the spirit. And I say to the young ones, the university students, the part-time workers, those who have part-time jobs, sometimes, and this is a phenomenon which is spoken about in psychiatry nowadays, the transition that young people are making or make and the different stages from childhood to adulthood. Sometimes when you're living with your parents and you're a student, you don't think that you have the answerabilities and you don't necessarily develop the sensibilities of being an adult. But my young friends, you are adults and you can spend the money that you might spend on that fast food meal for a day or two, on those little pleasures of life, on that new gadget, that new item of clothing. Why not spend it for some clothes for these people? You know, many years ago, I remember being affected by, it was an interview by this lady on the radio, and she was speaking about a charity she runs. Many, many years ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. I just want to mention this to you because you get the sense of what I'm trying to say here. Her charity's entire focus is on providing shoes to people in disaster-stricken areas. Can you relate to this? How many of us can walk to our cars without shoes? And in that zero temperature, sub-zero temperature, in the snow and sleet, people who walked out of their houses without anything. They're having to set fire to the timbers of their own houses in order to keep warm. And so, of course it makes a difference. And of course we must be at the forefront. And if this happens every month and every year, it doesn't matter. That's what this dunya is about. There'll be some pleasures and happinesses and triumphs. And there'll be disasters and sadnesses. And we're all in it together. And we're all one big human family. And we all need to help each other, for better or for worse. And this was the spirit of the Sahaba. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. They wouldn't just have empathy, or even better, sympathy for those afflicted. They wouldn't just share what they had. They would give it away. They'd go hungry themselves so that others could eat. Could we not miss a meal or two? Live a bit simpler? Spend a bit less on that celebration? You have money to spend on Valentine's Day as Muslims, the definition of relationships, and you don't have money to spend on charity on occasions like this. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So we need to, my brothers, take time out and seriously move out of this. I'm not saying that we fall into some sort of despair. If we want inspiration, we can take it from the very victims. Subhanallah, one can't help but be inspired by their steadfastness. They don't complain. They accept it and take it on the chin. May Allah give us that strength of faith as well. But we need to go beyond our sort of party mindset, where it's just fun and games. We don't have time from our socializing and our entertainment. Our socializing should be this. This is building society. This is talking about the afflicted, the needy, and how we might help them. And the reality is, they're not asking us. They're only asking us for their du'as. You hear interview after interview. This is what they always say. Just make du'a for us. It's our privilege and honor to assist them. It's also our obligation. And so, there will be an opportunity for you to donate today. There'll be an opportunity for you to dig into your pockets. And this opportunity will remain. It's not as though we've forgotten the old disasters in other regions. People are still affected. And this is an ongoing thing. By the way, let me just mention something here. Mufti Shafi Uthmani, he gives a very nice bit of advice, and I'm sure you can all relate to this. Sometimes it's difficult for a person to take out a big block in one go. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But he recommends, if you have a pot and you regularly take out a fixed amount every week, every month, and you put it into that pot, which is for charity, then when occasions like this arise, see, there were two sisters, Abu Bakr Siddiq's daughters, Asma and Aisha. Aisha, the wife of Rasulullah. Asma, the wife of Zubair, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, radiyallahu anhum. And the one, what would she do? She would spend as soon as it came. Aisha used to spend as soon as it came. Asma used to put it together. And then when it be a big lump sum, then she'd spend it. We have both examples. The point is, it's easier to spend in the hundreds and thousands when you have a pot allocated. But the door is open. You can choose, but be generous. And think of these people. Let us not spend these days and nights oblivious to their pain and suffering. That would be harsh-heartedness indeed. It is our responsibility and obligation to make dua for them all moments of the day and night. As we walk and talk, our preoccupations. If there's a single death in a family, a community, it moves the whole community. Here, we don't just have a single death. We have entire cities afflicted. And as I said, no janazah, no kafan, no qabr for the many. And no one to say words of condolence to the affected. May Allah Azza wa Jal shower them with His mercy and assist them and assist those who assist them. May Allah forgive the deceased and grant shifa to those who are sick and ill, and food to those who are hungry, and shelter to those who are out in the cold. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them and preserve them and make their futures bright. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect humanity from such disasters in the coming times. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.